we can move on to something that is not nearly as suspenseful, not nearly as dramatic, not nearly close to the scores that I would give Nippon Sangoku. We move on to Wistoria, Wand and Sword, episode 9. I'm going to chop it, cut it up, put some D's.
Put some D's on that bitch.
Yeah.
Just bought a Cadillac.
I got a fresh cut. Now I'm looking for the freaks. Which is what Will said on episode 9 of Wistoria, Wand and Sword. Will is exposing his naked body to Ceridwen, and she is frothing at the mouth. And she's like, take those hands off your nipples, Will. And Julius is like, what the fuck? But then he notices all of Will's scars, and he's like, holy shit, what did he do? Ceridwen goes over all of Will's body and has him explain the scar on his back. And Will says it's from protecting Elfie when they were young. Apparently from a fucking torpedo or something. Do you see how big that scar is? It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. He just literally okay, I should have forewarned, and I will do it now because we haven't got into it. There's so much gratuitous boob in this fucking episode. It makes me angry because guys, fucking chill.
I mean, you guys are like, man, Greg, your notes are so crazy. Oh, you're just talking about dudes and being hard. And then, how can you show us something like what you're probably going to show us here in a little bit and not expect my notes to be like that? I feel that I am absolved of all guilt here. I feel a bit vindicated that, yes, I do agree that probably in the beginning my notes were pretty crazy. But now I feel like everything is fitting for what we are watching now.
Yes, I agree.
He says he got the scar from protecting Elfie, and then Ceridwen smacks Will's ass. Will is like, so what are we doing? And
did she smack his ass?
She didn't smack his ass. She smacked his back or something.
Yeah.
But she did smack him, in a playful smack.
Yeah, true.
Will is like, so what are we doing? And Ceridwen is like, I'm looking for the lock to open the door.
She's touching his beehole, and she's like, what's the little combination on that lock, little guy? And I hate that I made that joke because this show, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I genuinely like the story of this show. It's just they do this for whatever fucking stupid reason where they're like, yo, we need some fucking fan service.
In other podcast episodes, it's like, I don't mind fan service, but the fan service needs to help drive the story in some way. Yeah. Now, they could have done this without it being so weird and without showing the close up of Ceridwen's
her doing this where she's like, oh, come on, man.
It's how old's Will?
16?
Yeah. 15? And she's even though in her stat sheet, I know. Do you remember what it said on her stat sheet?
I have it. I have a screenshot of it.
You don't pull it up. This is a pop quiz about her age.
Oh, it's unknown, right?
No. Fuck, no. She's perpetually
20.
But obviously she's not 20. So yes. It's you have this lady doing this to a child, pretty much. It's super weird. And don't get me wrong, if this was flipped, it would be just as weird. This has nothing to do with that she's a girl and Will's a guy. So if it was flipped and now Will's a girl and Ceridwen's a guy, it's just as weird. I know there's probably going to be someone out there that's like, oh, well, all the anime now is high school girls. And then, everyone wanted to be attracted to high school girls. It's still weird. It doesn't matter which gender of the sides there are. It's weird.
Yes, I agree. And okay, the Akame ga Kill thing, the whole thing with fan service is no amount of it is going to make it okay and acceptable. You know what I mean? When it comes to this stuff, I understand fan service for fucking Dandadan, having Granny Seiko be hot as fuck. Yeah, go for it. Don't have a character literally trying to prey on a underage other character. This is such an awkward manner that you're like, ooh, hee, are we towing the line? It's no. You've kicked the line. The line in the sand it no longer exists. You've stepped across it because we know what you're saying. You're doing this on purpose. And this isn't selling extra manga. It's just being a fucking creep.
Did you mean Kill La Kill or Akame ga Kill? Because in Akame ga Kill, I'm trying to I don't remember there being that much fan service, but Kill la Kill is a girl with the scissors and like the clothes just get blown off all the time. You did have like S Death and Akame ga Kill, and in my opinion, she was the best character in that entire anime. I didn't like that anime very much, but even I'll give Kill la Kill a pass because of how that anime was, because it was supposed to be ridiculous, crazy, over the top, just flashing lights, like blow your mind. And the fan service fit with the energy that they were trying to deliver with that anime. Yes, like a lot of it was unnecessary, but again, this is where I believe that the fan service didn't detract from what the anime was. It only added to it because of how crazy that anime was. But this, Wistoria, I don't feel like is going for the Kill la Kill style, like red line craziness of just like everything just being wild. What it's telling me anyway is it's trying to be this more kind of like serious Harry Potter style story, but then you have comedic elements in it. And apparently, I guess this is supposed to be one of them. But for me, it's a miss. But yeah, so Saraduin is like, I'm looking for the lock to open the door. And she says she watched them train, and anchoring magic was a good idea. And Julius is a smart cookie, as she drapes herself over Will's body. And she says, Will has the blood of mages, and he can already anchor magic, but he can't expel the magic from himself, and he needs a little help. And his body consumes magical energy and stores it. And now he needs to learn how to draw from the stored energy. And then she grabs the energy stored in Will's package. Will is like, I thought I needed external spells to charge. And she's like, yeah, but you've also done spells outside of those too. And Will remembers his Devander fight, and he needs to unlock the magic in his body and memories to charge. And then I have a note here that says, is that why Cauldron was sealing his memories off after the Devander fight? Because Cauldron is trying to like keep Will suppressed for now for a certain reason. I don't know. Just tossing it out there.
Hold on. I'm clarifying some stuff in my brain.
Oh, where Saraduin grabs his energy package and helps him expel the magic in his body that he's been holding up and
that
saving up for so long.
Bust out all that magic in his body, bursting at the seams? No, sorry. There was something that was said earlier. You said, is Saraduin Mercedes?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I said that before, and I want to clarify. They are not the same person.
Yeah, I remembered it from, I don't know, a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
You're like, did you think that was Mercedes? And I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. That's my fault. And
Okay.
they did a good job of pulling the mage's cloak over my eyes.
Oh, they draped something over your eyes.
It's fucking Saraduin's fat titties. I'm glad big old titties are making a comeback, by the way. Like, I'm a big fan of big butts. I like a rack, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, it's funny, like,
I thought you were just gonna let me go.
No,
and then just die on my own on this hill.
I'm gonna come along with you.
All right, thank you, Greg.
Do you remember back in the day, like the Pamela Anderson, Cindy Crawford era, where the large chest was the in thing? Everyone was just getting like augmentation all over the place because that's...
Dude, you make it sound like they're going to fucking cyberpunk. They're getting boob implants. Greg, fucking chill.
No, I'm trying. That's what they call it.
I'm getting my breast-ication augmentation.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get cyberpsychosis. They're so big.
Getting cyberpsychosis looking at it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Golly.
But that was the thing back then.
Hold on, let me put this on the background while we have a chance to talk about giant titties.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
But that was the thing back then. It wasn't necessarily like butts. It was like ultra thin, no fat, giant augments.
Yeah, just giant honkers. If you
I
will.
feel like there was a change where it kind of shifted from not necessarily giant boob augments, but you're going more to giant butt augments. And then we had like...
The BBL is big now.
Yeah, we're still kind of in that phase where now like butts are more important than boobs. But now I kind of feel like we're hitting a good kind of balance here of the boob to butt ratio, and like not one needs to be overshadow the other. It's like, let's just enjoy like everything as a whole. We don't have to single out one specific part.
I like the female form, Greg, and I'm right there along with you. The female form is a wonderful experience. Gets thumbs up from me, and not a thumb up the butt, unless you're into that. Anyways, Continue.
Well, let's just move on from that.
Let's run away, Greg. Let's go back to the memories over here.
Ceridwen draws a magic circle on the floor and says she's going to pour all of her magic into Will, and he'll need to remember his roots and then carve it into his body. Engrave. And then Ceridwen whips out her key and sticks it into Will's lock and casts Twarv Historia and sends Will's soul on a wild ride that he's never experienced. And last but not least, he will never forget.
These notes are exactly where I thought they'd go. So
Will goes on a Technicolor dream ride, remembering memories, and is now living one where he was young with Elfie. And Elfie extends her hand to Will, and then it segues nicely into the intro.
yes,
Okay.
ish. She didn't do the hand like fist pump in the memory, by the way, from the intro.
In the intro, you have this style of like the very saturated blue, and Elfie is running through the forest with Will. This is kind of where it started, and then it linked into the intro. So if that was intentional, cool. If it's not, I guess it's still okay.
I think it
because
was.
it's whatever. But it cuts to Will naked in bed, and Julius is like, "Hey, Ceridwen, Will has been asleep for 4 days." And she says her magic has given him an opportunity to deep dive into his past. Julius is like, man, what the hell? Does this actually work? And she's like, I don't know, maybe. Swords are Finn's thing, as she just places her hand on Will's naked body as it zooms in on her exposed chest. And she says that she has no intention of disputing Finn's methods, but there are other ways to commanding the heavens. And Julius is like,
Sorry.
What the fuck am I even looking at right now?
What is Julius looking at? Them fucking titties, dude. What the fuck? Look at him.
Does she just
Like,
not
what are you
have
talking-
nipples?
What are
Like,
you talking about?
what is this? I didn't actually look at this screenshot like that closely until literally right now. And like, what is going on at this moment? What is the purpose of clothes at this point? Are your arms cold, but your chest isn't? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree.
And
But
normally I'm not like against fan service, but this is,
they're
like this
egregious.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, like you see the screenshots before, it kind of makes sense because like from the side, you could assume that her nipples are under the frill. But then this is like, yo, what happened here?
Like, are they underneath?
The artist took all the liberties in the world to. He was like, yo, it's just holding up the ladies from the
Yeah.
bottom, and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, okay, all right. Anyways, let's go.
All right. Cuts back to Will in his dream, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. But young Elfie tackles him, and she's like, stop thinking about other girls, Will.
Hey, Greg, by the way, when you use the screenshot for the thumbnail for YouTube, if you need to grab the screenshot from the Discord call, just use that.
It's just going to get immediately banned and demonetized, and we're going to get our
I
account
mean,
deleted.
we're not going to get demonetized. Well, we'll get demonetized, sure, but we're not going to get banned because, I mean, there's no nip. Also, it's anime, so generally, let's see if that thumbnail really fucking hammers
Yeah,
it. You know
what?
Gets us
Maybe-
like hella
maybe you're
people.
right. Yeah, I just have to mark it 18 plus and explicit.
I do literally transition from boobs zoomed in and zoomed out for a good minute there. So maybe explicit is it.
But Elfie is like, oh, you're always nice to Claire and the other girls. And Will is like, what the fuck? And she's like, don't cheat on me or I'll turn your dick into a popsicle.
Dude, what the fuck was this?
Yeah.
The dialogue was not stupendous in the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, Elfie, chill.
Well, she is, because she's the ice mage.
Oh,
she's always
fucking
chill.
K.
Will makes the red flag mistake, number one, and is like, what can I do for you to forgive me? And she's like, put your hands all over me. And Will is like, well, okay. And she's like, now pat me on my head, you fuck. Elfie is like, sick. I'm recharged. Let's go fuck on a monster. And I brought the book that we love. And she shows a picture of a dude wearing a t-shirt from it-aesthetics.com, where the dude in the fucking book saved 10% off of his t-shirt by using tab C10 at checkout, or tab C5 for $5 off any promotions that they have going on at the time. And that dude in the book was wearing a t-shirt like DJ Montague, or a t-shirt like the one that I am wearing right now.
So good. Greg's so good. I appreciate you so much. Greg, your segues.
So visit it-aesthetics.com and get yourself a t-shirt like mine, or the one like DJ Montague's, or the one that the dude is wearing in Elfie and Will's book. And be sure to save 10% off by using tab C10, or $5 off stacking on any other deals they have going on by using tab C5.
Oh yeah.
But no, the dude in the book wasn't wearing a t-shirt from it-aesthetics.com. It was just a dude with a sword. And Alfie is like, this shit fills us with courage. And don't worry, Will, I'll protect you and your t-shirt. Will remembers he was a little bitch back then and wonders when Alfie started depending on him. And montage of them running around the forest. And then they stop and she's like, here's some magic I made up. It's Nome Lassie, and makes friendship candy balls with Will. And Will thinks that this is the second secret magic Alfie invented. And it was a spell to create ice candy. And then Alfie gets a mischievous look on her face and is like, this is a secret between you and me, Will. Wink. Will is like, why do you only give me your secret candy, Elfie? And she says, because, Will, you always share your food with everyone at the orphanage. And if you eat enough of my secret candy, then I'll be inside of you. Literally what she said. That isn't me like embellishing at all. She actually said those words.
I didn't take screenshots of it because it made me mad.
But Elfie is like, well, let's read this book. And Will is like, cool. But I can't read. I hear you, Will. And then they read The Adventures of Dimne. Dimne? And it was important to Will and Elfie. And in the story, there's a bad witch and a hero. And he drew his sword and split the sky. And Will is like, hey, this dude in the book looks like Finn. And he split that witch in two, if you know what I mean. But Will falls asleep, and Elfie is like, lap pillow time, bury your face, bitch. And Will is like, man, I want to go back to these peaceful times. And Elfie goes to sneak a kiss, but Will wakes up.
Okay, first of all, we have 2 episodes where people are laying on thighs this show. You know why I think that Elfie loves Will so much? Because he's inheriting all this magic from the outside world, and Elfie is shooting all this magic out of her body because she's so powerful. And so she's addicted to Will.
Oh, yeah.
I legitimately meant that as a thing. But
yeah, me too.
Okay, great. All right, anyways.
They head farther into the forest, and Alfie says there's a war going on in Rygarden. And monsters ran to the forest and are doing naughty things. And Will says he's starting to remember. And 10 years ago, Elfie and him would come to this forest, but their orphanage fathers said not to go there. Will says he remembers having the conversation, but doesn't remember what happened. And then a monster attacks them. And Will is like, I didn't know what that was back then, but I do now. That's a mage-created creature. Kroots, is that you? Like the Jello lizards? Who knows? Elfie is like, Will, stand back. I got this. I just thought of another spell. And then she clones herself using Ars Weiss, and she multicasts using Ars Weiss with Tiras No. But the wolf monster reflects the spells, and Will gets backshotted by one of the icicles. But Elfie shoots some more, and Will protects Elfie, and then loses consciousness. And Will is like, well, what happens next? Did you want to go through these?
For the commercial, or the separation for commercials, it has Will in his youth, a screenshot, and also Elfie in her youth in a screenshot. It says, tender-hearted and hardworking, he is the oldest at the orphanage and often required to practice self-restraint, but he never shows disgruntlement. On the one hand, that's extremely helpful, but on the other hand, it makes me feel like a failure as an adult. This is from the perspective of Ashley Sherforth, the foster father of the person. He seems to have developed a complex about being unable to use magic, but, and I feel bad for Will for saying this, I simply do not think he has a special power in him. That boy is far too different. If it were possible, I'd like to stay by his side and watch over him forever. May the blessing of the Mage Queen be with him. Mercedes is the Mage Queen, by the way. Which is, I mean, we already saw that the blessing of the Mage Queen is basically with him. Also, then we get the screenshot for Alfaria. While Alfaria, also from the same orphanage, mischievous natural-born leader, she is infatuated with Will and I can never predict what she might get up to. On top of that, her magical skill easily exceeds my own, so I cannot control her at all. I suspect that Alfaria will cause a revolution in our world of magic, but if by chance Will isn't there, then she will make the whole world her enemy. I have no doubt about that. Will you please look after him? I beg you. I'm sorry, I'm such a powerless foster father. Okay, what the fuck are we doing? This is Obsession.
I heard it was good. I saw some
Heard it's really
Instagrams
good.
on it.
Yeah. They are kind of supposed to be brother and sister. Obviously, they're foster children, so, you know, they're not really. They are obviously not born from the same mother and father, so I'm not going to fault him for that, but, like, the writing of Elfaria being so fucking over the top really tilts me. Do you have a good storyline at the core of the show?
After that, there's some scenes of Mercedes and she awakens Will. And Will is like, there's more to the story. And he casts Tiras Weiss. And he's like, now I remember why the Devander fight felt so good. It's because I knew this mage blade. And then the kids kill the monster wolf. And Will said he won't forget this bond with Elfie. So basically, they're relating it to the Devander fight where they both grab the hilt of the double dick sword and kill the Devander. And basically, it was familiar because they did the same thing when they were kids to kill this werewolf thing. There you go, Will, your memories are back. So then I have a note here that says, so Will is the way he is because he got hit by Elfie's spell in the back and then Mercedes awakened him. Am I understanding that correctly?
I think that there's, like, some idea that, like, Finn and Mercedes came together and was like, not that we're gonna have a kid. I don't think that they're Will's parents, but they did something. And her magic awakened at this point. I think Mercedes' magic awakened at this point. Not that she, like, awakened it specifically.
Okay. Because it made me feel like the fact that he got hit in the back with one of those icicles is like what is bonding him and Elfie, because like her magic is inside of him, not via candy. It's via icicle into the back shot.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I'm kind of confused.
I mean, obviously we've seen that Will has very large amount of resilience in his body. He's very strong in general. But I think that Will can absorb magic, and that's what they're saying with his ability. Like, fundamentally, he just constantly is absorbing magic, whereas, like, this mage monster is reflecting, and so he absorbed her fury into his body, and then that awakened him, because it, like, hit him, it did some damage, and then is like, oh, fight or flight time, right? So, fight is what Will chose.
Okay.
I guess that's just my explanation.
Oh, yeah, I mean, makes sense, because I felt like they put some sort of emphasis that Will got hit with that icicle, but it would make sense that he absorbed it, and he's just always held that magic within him since then, because as Serdwin said, he's like a magic black hole, basically. He just absorbs magic like all the time. But it cuts back to the present, and Will wakes up, and Julius is like, dude, the second bloom is about to start. And Sarah DeWin is like, you remember? And he's like, oh, yeah. And then Julius throws a shirt to Will as they like slow-mo walk out of the building together with Will's unbuttoned shirt and his ripped abs just fucking front and center. And then they head off to Bloom Central, I guess. And that's how the episode ends, by the way. That's the end of episode 9. But I have a note here where apparently, I said, I'll give it to this episode. I thought the flashback was cool. I could have done without the other bullshit about getting naked and jerking off Will. So I could have done without the weird Elfie, 10 years younger, hyper weird verbiage she uses while talking to Will. I could have done without Saradwin rubbing her body all up on him, getting him naked, touching him, and then putting him to sleep after she Moltroses all over him. Maybe I'll like try to give Wistoria the benefit of the doubt here. If Will is truly some mana black hole, magic black hole, and Saradwin is obviously like a very skilled witch, maybe she was rubbing all up on him because she was like somehow absorbing residual magic off of like Will's body. I don't know. That's me trying to like make sense out of something where I feel like wasn't necessary at all.
I agree. I don't think that Wistoria's original writer was like too far off with how good of a story that they could possibly create. And then they did some really stupid ideas with their character design. And it frustrates me because I want this show to be better than it is. This screenshot right here. So at one point in the episode, they have like these pictures. They like kind of disappear and then reappear. Over on that other picture that reappears, obviously you have a picture of Elfie and Will. That's obviously Edward and...
Snape, Werkner, and Clary.
Werkner, Edward, and... No, that's not Clary.
100% that's Clary. That is her hat.
But look at her hat as well.
Look
so
at her
Clary
hair.
is her student, but she wears the same hat as Ceridwen.
Yeah, because she's her apprentice.
Yes.
And she's single, by the way.
We've been dating for a couple weeks now.
She rejected your date because you didn't remember who her first love was. You didn't remember what her favorite food was.
I remember the first love. Oh, no. I remembered. Oh.
You remembered Emma Clever.
What's her name's brother? Emma Clever's brother.
You remember Emma Clever. So,
and the flower.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So even the one for you, which is Emma Clever, in last episode, you literally said, who cares about Emma Clever? Even though she's like your current crush right now.
No,
and
Clary is my crush.
No. You're like, I had to default to Emma Clever.
No, absolutely not.
Because I couldn't get Clary, so she was just plan B. So now I'm just going to treat her like trash and then just continue to yearn for my top pick, even though
I think you're thinking of Eliza. Eliza was the vampire girl.
Eliza was a vampire girl. I'm not thinking of Eliza. I'm thinking of Emma Clever.
I like Eliza and Emma Clever. Those
I know
are my
who
faves.
you like, but I'm telling you what the world has assigned you. And you're already like throwing it away.